Yes, I'm starting recording. All right, so in the art of war, the first question before you fight is who is the general? This is a book called The Art of War.
By Tzu Zi or something like that.
Lao Tse or
Lao
Sun
Tse,
Tzu or
Sun
something like
Tzu.
that. Yeah, something like that.
It starts with a T and I and then something else.
So you're right. Who is? Yeah, that's a book I want you to read. All right.
I've started the first chapter. It was getting boring.
Yeah, that's as far as I got too. It gets deeper, and the way the Chinese express things, it's with symbolism.
What's that?
Well, first you consider who is the general, who is the leader of the opposing army.
Do you have Papermate pens?
I don't know. Maybe right there.
Nope.
The second question is heaven and earth.
Yeah, you don't have Papermate pens.
In earth, the question is how far away are they? For instance, Napoleon attacked Russia.
Mm-hmm.
All Russia had to do was what?
What?
They moved back.
And back and back and back.
And back and back and back. And they gave the land to Napoleon. But then the winter came. And what happened? The French Napoleon's army, froze. You see? So now they were doing it on horseback. What happened several years later? I don't know when Napoleon was around, but afterwards there was Hitler. He does the same thing. This time it's the Germans attacking the Russians. The Russians do the same thing. They burn their cities and move farther and farther away from the Germans that are advancing. Then what happened?
They got defeated by the United States?
Yes, but besides that, the Russians were supposedly fighting the Germans, but all the Russians did was wait for winter. I don't know, they may have done other things, right?
Like, send a few experts to go, like, mess up the cargo and stuff like that. Bomb a few things here and there. Like 5 people each.
That's possible. Like send suicide squads to stop the Germans?
Not suicide squads, but like... I saw in a movie. They'd send like 4 to 5 people.
Yes.
And then the 4 or 5 people would plant bombs in the cargo on the train so that the supplies couldn't get there.
Yes, I saw the
They
similar.
also bombed the camp. A few bombs here and there. Not to blow up the people, but just to like blow up their camp, and then they'd have to make it all over again or clean it up. Or
Would you
get the
please
debris.
get up here so I can record and get your voice?
Or get the debris out of the way. And it like assassins. Like every few days, every week.
Ninjas, you mean? Something
Sort
like
of
that?
like that. They'd like come, like slice up a few people, but blow up a few stuff. Maybe if there's a train coming someday, follow up on the train, bomb it.
You are describing the guerrilla warfare. For instance, in the Battle of the United States for Independence, the British soldiers were wearing red coats. They were known as the Red Coats.
Blue coats.
The United States soldiers were fighting like the
Blue coats.
Indians or the Native
Americans.
Americans, where they would hide in the forest, attack, and get out of there.
What I'm basically describing is like they'd attack in groups.
Attack
Like
in groups.
4 guys there, 4 guys attacking there, and then 4 guys attacking there.
Yes.
And they'd do as much damage as they could before they could alert the people.
Mm-hmm.
Like before they'd get there and see where they run off to. Like do 2 bombs, set them off, boom, right away once it blows up, run.
Yes.
Sometimes
This is like distractions.
yeah, that's what it was.
But it's really annoying like a mosquito.
Yeah, I saw it from, though. I think it was you that told me about it, but...
Well, there was the war of Napoleon attacking Russia, and Napoleon and his French soldiers lost because they froze. Because Russia just, it's like you'll keep fighting and I keep punching you and punching you, but you keep running away.
Yeah, there's no need to punch.
And then finally you get so far away that I can't catch you. And then the winter comes, and I look, and there are no trees to burn wood, you know. So Napoleon
Ray?
lost against
Ray?
Russia.
No, Ray said that he had a lighter, not
Shredder?
a lighter,
Fire starter.
yeah, fire starter,
Mhm.
and he said it one good stroke and one time, and it's a good fire. He said it's better than a lighter.
Yes, a lighter uses liquid,
Mm-hmm.
and once you finish that liquid, I don't know if all lighters use a liquid, but
How can it be like? How could it be so easy? Better than a lighter.
I think it's called flint,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe it's called phosphorus. I think phosphorus is a rock. It comes inside the matches, I think. And it's better than a lighter because a lighter uses liquid, and once you run out, you run out.
But he said it was way better.
Yes, because what happens with the fire starter, if it's a rock against a rock, it always makes a spark. Or maybe it's a knife against a rock. Mm-hmm. So the point is, please, what are you doing there?
I'm watching.
I want you to pay attention to me, son.
Damn.
No, that means eyeballs on me. So I'm telling you about Russia and Germany and Hitler. Hitler did the same thing as Napoleon. He attacked who?
The Russians.
And the Russians moved back and they kept running away, but they kept burning the buildings. So that when the Germans came with their... Did they come with horses? This time they came with tanks, I think. But the tanks didn't have heaters. So once the Hitler's army attacked Russia...
Did they burn this building so that they wouldn't scavenge for any food?
That's right. There were they burned the Russians burned their buildings, their whole cities. And the Germans came, and then the winter froze the Germans. You see?
Mm-hmm. It was all part of their tactic.
Now let me tell you about Vietnam. In Vietnam, I've heard of soldiers, they say, soldiers from what country fought against Vietnam?
The Russians?
I think that
Chinese, Asian, Japanese.
after World War II,
Germany, Afghanistan.
the world wanted to know who was the biggest and the strongest
USA?
country. So the USA and Russia looked at each other, right? And it was called the Cold War. They didn't fight each
What
other.
about the Alusity War? Alusty War.
I don't know that one.
Well, it's part of the Civil War. I'll search it up and show you it.
Very
It's
well.
pretty bloody.
So the Russians and the United States, they did not fight each other. When I was your age, we were called enemies. Those bad Russians, you know? And then, you know Bob's Building in Miami? With the old people?
I've never seen it.
All right, you don't remember. You're older now. Well, in that building, now we have a bunch of Russians. Because the Russians, they lost the Cold War in the sense, right?
Here it is.
Mhm.
Battle of Alusity, Civil War Trust.
It's a civil war.
It was the last battle of the Civil War.
All right, so that was the United States, like the North against the South.
Ow. Yep. I'm sick. Oh.
All right, so I'm telling you about Vietnam. Vietnam used to be one country. But, please put that away. Son?
Yeah.
Put that away. Just.
I was gonna show you.
Oh, okay, you're going to show me then.
It's only.
All right, can you finish this one? I only have a few seconds before it goes to 10 minutes. Already 10 minutes. Come on.
Go.
So the Russians divided Vietnam. The Russians wanted half, and the United States wanted half. So, what happened to the Vietnamese?
They got fought for it?
They had a civil war, but it was caused by who?
USA? Russia?
Both of them, Russia and United States. Now, was Russia fighting the United States?
No.
But who provided? And this is my thinking. Who provided the guns to the North Vietnamese?
Russia?
I think it was Russia. And who provided the guns to the South Vietnamese?
Russia?
No,
USA?
USA. Now you see how North and South got divided, right?
So, it was at Ocean Pond, February 20th, 1864.
What city? Where? Like what state?
South into Florida. It was in Florida.
In Florida, okay. The Civil War in Florida. All right, let's do another
Well, actually,
video.
the last battle of the Civil War.
We'll do another video now.